Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome to Conversations with OTF. मेरा नाम बेमिसाल इकबाल है and we're here again with an amazing guest for today's episode. Her name is Dr. Lala Ruf Ijaz and she is an assistant professor at IBA, also a teaching fellow at Babson College, and she's an independent director at Bank Islami Pakistan Limited. The reason we have invited Dr. Lala from IBA is because IBA is one of our educational partners, and since we're celebrating the Education Day by the UN this week, we thought it's best that we invite Dr. Lara with us today and discuss the current status of higher education in Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Lara. कैसी हैं आप?
Assalamualaikum. How are you doing, Michal? Firstly, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here and to talk about whatever's happening in the education sector. You guys are doing amazing work, and it's such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. It's our honor that you could take out time for us today. So before we go into the questions, Dr. Lara, can you just explain to our audience your role at IBA?
So, Vimisal, I am a part of the faculty pool at IBA. I teach, I'm associated with the Department of Economics, and I also am associated with the Entrepreneurial Development Center that is at IBA, जिसको हम CED कहते हैं. और दोनों से मेरा ताल्लुक है. मेरी पढ़ाई भी इसी में है और मेरी let's just say that अब मेरा I am also academically and professionally both. I'm an educationist and an economist. So so I've been with IBA for a very long time. It's my it's the place where I started working. So it was my first job. So right fresh off the boat I came to IBA. But this is something that I've always wanted to do, as in teach. So it's been such an amazing and fulfilling journey for myself because मुझे ये काम करके बड़ी एक तकवीयत मिलती है, बहुत satisfaction मिलती है, and it's a lot of I do it with a lot of love and I get a lot of love in return also. So that's the driving force.
No, and that's lovely, and very mashallah itna neek kaam hai. And I think before we started the session, you also mentioned that you've been with IB for 18 years. So mashallah, a long time, and I'm sure it's really rewarding to be able to teach for this long, and also with such a prestigious institution. So coming to my first question, I wanted to ask you about the importance of formal education today. See, there's a lot of literature going around that says, that companies even as big as IBM, Google, Apple, they don't require university degrees as long as whoever they're hiring has the right skills for the job. And also with, the startup culture that's becoming very popular and, a lot of people are adopting it. What is your take on the role of formal education today?
So this is a very good question, but you have to understand. So we are talking about, at one side we are talking about Pakistan and our educational sector, right? And then we are talking about global education and the kind of, input it requires from the labor market, right? और उसमें ये है कि yes, with a breakthrough in technology that we've seen over the last 15 years or so. I mean, that kind of skill set has become so important that companies now really want some kind of experiential learning from the students that are coming into the labor force. So I think that the culture is changing, but that doesn't take away from the importance of formal education, at least not in Pakistan, because over here still there's some kind of terminal degree that the institutions that employers do want. So even when they're looking at there are different MT programs and all, so students have to sit for a certain they have intakes, they test the students and they look at their CGPAs, and then on side by side they look at the kind of exposure they've had in terms of the experience they've gained in internships, or maybe they've been doing something on the side, some kind of social work. And I think that with these big companies and how globalized the world has become with easy access to the internet, I think the student population has become so aware that all of them, they are so competitive that even when they're applying for universities like IBA or LUMS or Habib or all these prestigious universities, they make sure that they have this, their unique, they position themselves in a unique way, that they have this certain kind of experience, in which they are, which is defining them. So they develop that kind of identity. So, a lot of students have their blogs, or a lot of the students have startups that they are running, छोटे छोटे businesses, या कुछ ना कोई काम लेकर के चल रहे होते हैं, which ensures के वो एक तरह से इंश्योर करते हैं नॉट जस्ट के यूनिवर्सिटी उनको अंदर ले ले और फिर उनकी जो स्किल्स हैं उनको बेटर होन करे, एंड लेटर ऑन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आल्सो look for such individuals locally. So I think that of course this kind of experiential learning is very, very important, and maybe in the rest of the world it's a terminal degree or a formal degree is not a requirement, क्योंकि वहाँ तो आपको पता है कि आपका हाई स्कूल होता है और उसके बाद बहुत कम लोग यूनिवर्सिटी या कॉलेजेस के लिए अप्लाई करते हैं, बिकॉज दैट स्पेशलाइज्ड एजुकेशन. बट हमारा माइंडसेट इज अ लिटिल डिफरेंट. वी डोंट थिंक दैट. वी थिंक कि जब तक किसी ने बैचलर्स नहीं किया हुआ या मास्टर्स की डिग्री नहीं की हुई तो वो पढ़ा लिखा नहीं है. So that is the kind of mindset we have. So I think that because of that mindset, the formal education will not lose its importance in. I don't think anytime soon, but I do think that simultaneously the experiential learning that the universities are really exposing the students has become very, very important. So yes.
Right. And even like with the availability and easy access to online courses today, whether it's Coursera or Udemy, it's adding value to the students. And what would be your advice to students out there who are listening? What kind of courses they should look at, or anything about those courses?
I think this is such an important time in our lives, and we are actually all students. So it's just not the students. I consider myself a student also. So life is all about learning, and you keep learning till the day you die. So I think with COVID-19 and this kind of pandemic that's happened over this last year, it's really shaken up the entire world, and it's all industries, all sectors, including education, has been really, we've been shaken up, and we've sort of had to put on different kind of glasses to see कि भाई क्या चीज work कर रही है और क्या चीज नहीं work कर रही है. So we had to pull up our socks and learn कि newer ways of teaching, कैसे methods हैं जिससे हम पढ़ा सकते हैं, जिससे हम communicate कर सकते हैं और हम अपने skills को बेहतर कर सकते हैं. And similarly, I think students have also learned tremendously in this time frame. जो मॉडल हम पहले फॉरवर्ड करते जो फॉलो करते थे उसमें ये होता था कि वी गॉट लाइक case studies and in class lectures and all, but the teacher is always there. So there is this especially bachelor's के students के साथ ये होता है कि थोड़ा सा attitude laid back हो जाता है, उनको डंडा मार के पढ़ाना पड़ता है, unlike graduate students because they are really serious. मगर ये हुआ कि pandemic में तो it just flipped. 360 डिग्री टर्न हुआ. सारा ओनस ऑफ लर्निंग जो है वो स्टूडेंट के सर पे चला गया. स्टूडेंट चाहेगा तो लर्न कर लेगा, और अगर नहीं चाहेगा तो ऑन दीज वर्चुअल क्लासेस वो सोते हुए भी गुजार सकता है. बट आई थिंक इट रियली टॉट देम so much, because those of few who actually wanted to learn, and all of them eventually, when they did get to understand how to work with the system, I think how to use resources that are available on the net, how to look for different courses, how to search for what is relevant for them, and even look at things that interest them, is really, really something that we have been forced to see, I would say.
Yeah.
So,
and also to take responsibility of it themselves, which I think was great.
Yeah, absolutely. So the responsibility of action and the responsibility of, okay, my life is in my hands. I really need to do something. So I think it's been a good in that way. I'm not saying it was a good situation otherwise, but एक तरह से जो आंखें खुली हैं, आई थिंक स्टूडेंट बॉडी की भी और हम भी एज एकेडमिक्स, हमारी भी जो हम प्लेसिड हमारे एटीट्यूड कभी कभी हो सकता है, हम सबको भी जो न्यू वे से वी हैव बीन एक्सपोज्ड टू, आई थिंक इट्स बीन ग्रेट. I think the world is definitely not going back to what it was. We will just be moving forward. It's going to be a complete shift in how we look at things and how we handle things.
True, true. Now let's talk about universities in Pakistan. How important is hiring faculty for universities in terms of hiring the best teachers, the best faculty, and also like what makes prestigious universities like IBA, Habib, universities all across Pakistan? How what makes them stand out when it comes to faculty?
You know, of course, these are very well established institutions, and quality of faculty, not just amongst these universities, but I think at all levels of education, whether we are talking about primary, secondary, and then higher education, I think faculty and teachers are such an important resource. The entire education sector relies on this kind of resource. So, how much of investment happens in this resource and how the institutions are able to hone and um, train this resource and then hold on to that resource is very, very important. I think that this is specifically something that happens in these quality educational institutions that you've spoken about. So they attract good people who've had a number of experience. So there are two sides to it. Of course, IB has a lot of being in the hub of the business sector industry, because हमारे पास बहुत ज्यादा ऐसी विजिटिंग फैकल्टी भी आती है जिनका बहुत ज्यादा वर्क एक्सपीरियंस होता है, तो दैट काइंड ऑफ एक्सपोजर दैट इट गिव्स टू द स्टूडेंट्स इज अनमैच्ड. I think IBA has brilliant visiting faculty, but at the same time, I think IBA is done a superb job in developing the faculty pool that it already has. With this kind of scholarships it provides to existing faculty for further studies, for training programs, for encouraging them to go on to conferences, right? And the kind of support it provides for research, I think that is something that interests faculty from everywhere around the world, and that is how you attract good faculty, and that is what good institutions do. And then not just developing the faculty that is present, but of course it's a very attractive point for potential faculty to come in. And of course the kind of infrastructure it provides is also very important, the kind of support it provides and the kind of freedom it gives to carry out your courses and to interact with students. I think all these things translate into the satisfaction of faculty, and that is all quality educational institutions make sure that these things are there available, and that brings a lot of ownership, I think, towards the institution. And once that sense of ownership is there, I don't think that anybody would want to move. So and all that of course translates into the kind of students you get. So we get brilliant students, and so it's like a triangle, you see. So the institution is providing, it's great, it's got its name is there, and then it has very good faculty, so it attracts very good students. So this is the formula that it works on, and it works brilliantly. But let me tell you that this has IBA has very good initiatives for students also. So when I talk about faculty, I'm telling you that it really invests heavily into the development of the faculty it has. But if it does that for the faculty, it does it doubly so for the students. So students are the center point of our activities, and we have such a diverse body of students from all different income groups and different sects. It's a very I would say very multicultural kind of environment, which is which we have, and it is very alive. So and I think what happens is that um, um, I think the kind of formula that works, because we involve the corporate side a lot also, and the students, when they come from very different parts of the world, for example, we've got students coming from interior Sindh. We have a national talent hunt program that we've got a Sindh talent hunt program. We groom students to come in. We help them prepare for the test, and then
Right.
we sort of, groom them for interviews. And this is right from the beginning. And the best of the best then actually come into IBA. And then, throughout their career, there are different kinds of programs that we ensure that their skills, not just their academic knowledge, but their other skills are developed also. For example, we've got a corporate connect series. We've got counseling clinics that are happening. We've got a personal effectiveness course that happens throughout their 4 years. They have to have two internships, one in the social sector and then one with some corporation. So we make sure that they are all developing for all of them. So I think that really helps
Yeah, and
in
this brings me to my next question about, like you mentioned, internships.
yeah.
Um, how important is it for students to have a work component during their education, higher education? Because there is that sort of mindset when students are doing unpaid internships, and there's a completely different mindset when they're doing paid work, and also the kind of exposure they get at work and whatever they learn. How important is it for students to be actively working or have a work component in their 4 year or 2 year, 3 year program?
I think it's just very, very important. I mean, दैट बीइंग सेड, आई मीन, मैं तो ये सोचती ही हूँ, मगर आप ये सोच रहे हैं कि आईबीए में हमने जब 2 इंटर्नशिप को एज अ डिग्री रिक्वायरमेंट ही रख दिया कि यू विल नॉट गेट योर डिग्री अनलेस एंड अंटिल यू हैव डन दिस, right? So it is a requirement, it's a part of their program. So I think the kind of exposure work brings into the students' perspective it just completely changes them. I think academics is one thing, and then getting hands-on experience is something else. So and I think that is why I think IBA has a career development center, which categorically works on this area. So like I was telling you that, इनकी uh, ये हमका जो पर्सनल इफेक्टिवनेस कोर्स है वो करियर डेवलपमेंट सेंटर के साथ मिलके इनवाइट कर रहे होते हैं डिफरेंट कंपनीज के सीईओज को, या जो भी रेलेवेंट पर्सनल है उनको इनवाइट करते हैं, सो दैट दे कैन talk to the students, groom them, make them think think differently than just being focused on their studies. And then again I was saying that उनको internship तो करना ही होता है जो कि उनकी डिग्री का पार्ट है, पेड और अनपेड, बट इसके अलावा हमारा एक और बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग इनके डिग्री के साथ प्रोजेक्ट होता है, उसको हम एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग प्रोजेक्ट कहते हैं, जो कि एक फैकल्टी, एक somebody from the industry and then a group of students, they carry out a research project. Again, it's a part of the degree. So the project comes from the industry, the faculty supervises it, and the students run that, do that research. And again, it is a part of the degree requirement. So they can't get it until. So it is in short, they have that kind of exposure, and other than of course learning the skills of how to carry out these, how the world works, they also develop a lot on the softer side. Their skills develop, soft skills develop, which is so important. And again, इसमें एक underlying बात है कि networks बहुत बन जाते हैं. तो I think ये सारी चीजें जो हैं ये बहुत बहुत important हैं. Coming back, this all relates to, other than academics, the kind of work experience we expose them to at IBA.
Absolutely. And coming to adding on to what you said, that there are students, there is a very big divide between let's say the metric students or the O-level students, or where the student is coming from their primary or the secondary education, whether it's from a private school, a public school, or also there are tiers within the private schools. So when they do come to a university, because obviously they have to pass the entrance test and then get into the university, they're all at the same level. But after the entrance, in those 4 years, what do universities, or specifically IBA, What do they do to sort of bridge that gap?
So, I already told you that IB has a very diverse student body, and we have got a diverse set of programs also. And we have a very healthy mix of students. So it's not, tilted towards all either students who've done their O levels or A levels. There are students who come with their FSC background या FA background से भी आते हैं, as long as कि उन्होंने टेस्ट क्लियर कर दिया. हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट होता है कि वो टेस्ट क्लियर करे और अपना इंटरव्यू क्लियर करे, राइट, एंड अ सर्टेन नंबर जो कि उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट होती है, हमारी मिनिमम कट ऑफ होता है जिसको वो मीट करे. जब वो वंस दे आर इन इट, ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज डिफरेंस व्हेन दे कम इन. फर्स्ट ईयर में वो डिफरेंस नजर आ रहा होता है आपको, क्योंकि ज़ाहिर है दे हैव बीन एक्सपोज्ड टू डिफरेंट things in life, but that difference does not translate into their grades, or that difference eventually it pretty much balances out. So वो आपको जो difference नजर आ रहे होते हैं, आपको आहिस्ता आहिस्ता समझ आने लगता है कि वो जो deviations है वो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता जो है वो balance out होना शुरू हो जाती है. Not saying that this doesn't happen in real life. Of course, in real life also you know that there are like-minded people will be they will flock together and stuff like that. But in IBA, in the classrooms, we ensure that there's such a lot of courses, and there's so much of group projects involved. So sometimes they're given a choice to make the groups on their own, but sometimes instructors makes groups for themselves. So we will ensure that different kind of students with different interests are put together in projects, and then they're supposed to work together. So, we ensure that these kind of dynamics students do face, and then in that kind of situation, they learn to manage themselves. So whether it's adversity or friendship, they have to learn to manage themselves. And that is exactly what happens after a little while. We have a number of societies also in which students get involved. So I think that really helps them sort of develop these kinds of skills and understand each other's perspective. Because these actually these guys are going to be each other's network, so they learn to understand each other, understand each other's point of views, respect each other's point of views, tolerate each other. I think these are the things we are sort of uh, trying to impart. Whether we say it out verbally, whether we verbalize it or not, but it is present in our system.
Right. Let's come back to the teaching side of things. See now, theoretical writings and publications, they may look very good on paper. So there may be faculty members who are very widely published or very highly respected for their research side of the work, but it doesn't always translate into teaching the students. So how do institutions like yours balance that?
Okay, so it's interesting how people view it. I think the more you go into the details of why faculty publishes, or what is the need and everything, you will come to realize that it is a very personal thing to publish or not to publish. Of course, institutions want faculty who research and publish, and faculty also wants that because it translates into their promotions. All right, so promotions are based on and it's a very important component of your climbing up the ladder. And you have to understand that when you are publishing, you get a very solid and deep insight into the area that you are working in. And when you are extensively involved in a research, you have to be passionate about it. And you bring
Absolutely.
that passion into your teaching. So if that area, in your teaching, it is of similar interest, you find students. So हमारे पास PhD students भी आते हैं, हमारे पास MS students भी आते हैं. ठीक है, इवन हमारे पास बहुत सारे जो बैचलर्स के स्टूडेंट होते हैं वो सोच रहे होते हैं कि यार हम रिसर्च की साइड को परस्यू करें, एनालिसिस रिसर्च एनालिस्ट बनना चाहते हैं. तो हमारे लिए तो फैकल्टी के लिए तो ये बड़ा ही एक रिसोर्स मौजूद है स्टूडेंट के फॉर्म में, जो कि अगर वो आपके रिसर्च शेयर करें और आप उनके साथ मिलकर के पब्लिश कर सकें. दैट इज वन साइड. बट लेट मी टेल यू अगेन, रिवर्टिंग टू योर क्वेश्चन, कि that kind of, your publications can translate into your teachings and better teaching if you want, and if you can find that synergy. And of course, I'm not saying that people who don't publish are not good teachers. And I'm also not saying that people who publish are superb teachers. Teaching is something that, of course, comes from the heart, and it is a different skill to have. Researching is a different skill, and teaching is a different skill. But it's not as if there's no synergy between them. You can, of course, use your researches and better your teaching. Uh,
Yeah,
but teaching is something I think that we just keep getting better with time. It's
true,
learning curve is really high.
true,
So
true.
and again, मैं फिर से मुझे तो यही लगता है कि भाई अगर आपको इस काम से मोहब्बत है तो आप ये करेंगे और आप बहुत अच्छा करेंगे. ठीक है,
That's
वैसे
true.
ये हर काम के साथ सच है, बाय द वे.
True, absolutely.
If you love your work, you do it well.
You'll do it and you'll do it well. That which
Yeah,
is why they say that make sure that you know what you're passionate about, because whatever
absolutely.
you do with passion, you will
Yeah,
do it well.
yeah,
So no, that's very correctly said. So now let's talk about something that I like to ask most of our guests. So let's talk about the education divide in Pakistan as a whole. Right, there is a divide between policy versus implementation of that policy, and then even if there is implementation, there is a divide between implementation versus policy quality control. So, what is your take on this?
I mean, I completely agree with you. This is like just and ये वो दरिया को कूजे में समेटने वाली बात है. बड़ा मुश्किल बात आपने कही है, और बहुत अब छोटी लफ्जों में कह दी, बट है यही. 3 चैलेंजेस हैं हमारे पास. 3 चैलेंजेस हैं एजुकेशन की साइड पे. हमारे पास गवर्नेंस चैलेंजेस, हमारे पास रिसोर्स चैलेंजेस हैं, और हमारे पास क्वालिटी कंट्रोल चैलेंजेस हैं. और पॉलिसीज हैं तो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं है, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं है तो चेक नहीं है, और चेक नहीं है तो यूजेज नहीं है, रिसोर्स का यूजेज नहीं है. और हम स्ट्रगल हमारा स्ट्रगल और चैलेंज ये है. अगर ये उल्लू सीधा हो जाए तो फिर तो कोई मसला ही नहीं है ना, फिर तो कोई
True.
मसला ही नहीं है. आई थिंक कि जो हम जिन एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस को बार बार क्वालिटी एजुकेशन कह रहे हैं, शायद हमें क्वालिटी नहीं कहना चाहिए, हमें रिलेटिवली हमें कहना चाहिए एस्टैब्लिश्ड एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं. ठीक है. और एस्टैब्लिश इसी तरह से हुई हैं कि उन्होंने अपने मैकेनिज्म्स को बड़ा स्ट्रीमलाइन करके रखा हुआ है. तो
True,
उनका
true.
बहुत क्लियर है उनके गवर्नेंस मैकेनिज्म्स, बहुत क्लियर हैं उनके डिलिवरेबल्स, बहुत क्लियर हैं कि आपके पास आपको पास जो रिसोर्स है उसकी एक्सेसिबिलिटी है, और आप उसको यूज करना चाहें. As a faculty is also a resource, but you need a lot of complementary resources to work with. So if you have an institution and a system that provides you with the resource that you require, then automatically the standard of education that you're imparting becomes better. And then again, if you are acquiring a certain resource and the institution is providing you that resource, and if then to ensure that it's being used, whatever that's very important कि आपने लिया था, आपने इस्तेमाल किया, आपने आपका ये आप करना चाहते थे, आपने किया, so you're answerable. So there's this check and
Absolutely.
balance. So the check and balance has to be there to ensure the quality. And then there has to be a mechanism that translates into everyone's performance. So and not to say कि तुम खराब हो, not to say कि कोई खराब है, but just to identify that where we can improve. So
Absolutely. And देखिए, किसी भी प्रॉब्लम का सॉल्यूशन हम तभी निकाल सकते हैं ना जब हम प्रॉब्लम को आइडेंटिफाई करें और एक्सेप्ट करें कि यस दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम एंड वी नीड टू वर्क टुवर्ड्स इट.
and I don't lie between I think that हमारी जो हम words use करते हैं ना, उनका इतना important impact होता है हमारे दिमाग के. तो हम किसी चीज को प्रॉब्लम भी कह सकते हैं, और हम किसी चीज को एरिया ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट भी कह सकते हैं. जब हम एरिया ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट कहते हैं तो आप अपॉर्चुनिटी कह सकते हैं, इम्प्रूवमेंट कह सकते हैं. जब आप ऐसे बात करते हैं तो अगला बच्चा चाहता है कि हाँ जी हम और बेटर हो. so I think एक ऐसा माइंडसेट होना बहुत जरूरी है.
Yeah,
प्रोग्रेसिव माइंडसेट होना बहुत जरूरी है.
Absolutely.
और प्रोग्रेसिव माइंडसेट के साथ, ओपन माइंड के साथ जब हम काम करते हैं तो काम करने का मजा भी ज्यादा आता है और आपको रिवॉर्डिंग बहुत ज्यादा लगने लगता है आपका काम। तो
Yeah.
आई थिंक ये सिस्टम्स जो हैं, जो एस्टैब्लिश इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, उन्होंने ये सिस्टम्स डेवलप कर लिए हैं। अनफॉर्चुनेटली जो थोड़ी एस्टैब्लिश नहीं है वो शायद इन एरियाज में या इनमें से कोई एक दो एरियाज में स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं, बट वो यही एरियाज ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट हैं जिस पे काम करना जरूरी है। और अगर पाकिस्तान एजुकेशनल सेक्टर ही इसके ऊपर काम करना शुरू कर दे इन 3 एरियाज पे, तो बहुत सारे मसाइल हल हो सकते हैं लॉन्ग रन में। ये बहुत लंबा काम है,
Absolutely. It's
शॉर्ट
not
टर्म
something
में नहीं
that can be
होगा,
fixed
मगर
overnight.
ये नब्ज पकड़ने वाली बात है। यहाँ पे
Hmm.
अगर काम शुरू हो जाए ना तो बहुत सारे मसले सॉल्व।
True, true. No, thank you so much. And I would like to end on this note that, this is ये एक छोटी सी कोशिश थी हमारी to identify the areas of improvement, like you said. And we hope कि through this partnership of IBA and Orange Tree Foundation, and also for everybody who is listening out there, we're providing scholarships to college students, school students, those who cannot afford to pay their fee just because of COVID, because of the pandemic. And we have our regular programs as well, and we have partners like yourself. So this is a small effort that we're all trying to, work towards those areas of improvement.
Because you guys are doing a wonderful job, and not just for students who you are giving scholarships to, but I think also for other students who come and volunteer at your organization. I think it is such a eye-opening kind of a situation for them. I think when they come to you and they learn so much. So I think it's a wonderful gap that you guys are fulfilling. I also wanted to add something. I think that an area that is highly ignored in Pakistan is our vocational training. I think that vocational training and vocational education is as an area that requires a lot of attention. We have such a huge population that is living below the poverty line or near or above the poverty line, and for them to convince them to send their children to schools, pay fee and send them to schools, or even if the fee is not there, even if it's like a free school, even for them to send their children to school has high opportunity costs because they
Absolutely.
feel that मैं अब मेरा बच्चा कोई काम कर ले और पैसे कमा ले. So I think in that there is a huge gap that people need to think about, and that is of vocational training, because these kind of skills are some different skill set that children and students can acquire through vocational training is something that can be very will always be in demand and can always be utilized by these people. So I think ये एक area बड़ा ignored है और इसके ऊपर काम करने की जरूरत है. So I hope in future something someone and somebody like you guys will look at this side. I know Honor Foundation थोड़ा बहुत काम करे मगर बहुत सारे लोग नहीं हैं. तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा गैप है और इसको फिल करने की जरूरत है. एंड आई थिंक द गवर्नमेंट आल्सो नीड्स टू थिंक अबाउट दिस एंड maybe make it somehow a part of the educational system.
Absolutely, and you're right, it is extremely important. Before leaving, I would want you to give a message to those students or, even those people who want to start something small, because this is your area of expertise. I really want you to shed some light on it. Students or even people who want to start some small business of their own or have or, startup or get into that side of work. But their fear is that we don't have seed money or we don't have enough money or the risk is too high. So if you could guide them a bit or give them any message through this platform.
I don't know, maybe I personally think that the younger generation and the students are very smart these days. And I think with this, the kind of technology and the kind of access we have, how the world is sort of connected, I think so many of new businesses are being run by students that it really I feel very happy to see it. And those of you guys who are thinking that you need money to start, I think you're mistaken. बहुत छोटे से अमाउंट से जो है आप अपना काम शुरू कर सकते हैं Or I mean, I worked with women entrepreneurs, and it is so heartening to see कि लोग खवातीन अपनी छोटे छोटे कमेटी के पैसों से 5,000 रुपए 10,000 रुपए से अपना काम स्टार्ट कर रहे होते हैं, and then they take their businesses really बहुत आगे लेकर चले जाते हैं. तो बिल्कुल बहुत कम पैसों की ज़रूरत है, कोई ज़्यादा पैसों की ज़रूरत नहीं है. हाँ, बट ये है कि थोड़े आपको नो-हाउ होनी चाहिए, एंड अपने काम में जो काम करो, जो भी बिज़नेस करो, उसके बारे में अच्छी तरह जान के करो, अपने कॉम्पिटिशन को देख के करो, नीश को आइडेंटिफ़ाई करके करो, कस्टमर को समझ के करो, प्रोडक्ट की इलास्टिसिटीज़ को समझ के करो. सो दीज़ आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स. मनी इज़ नॉट एन इश्यू. Money is not an issue.
Yeah,
So
and that block needs to be clarified, that you are identifying the wrong area of improvement.
yeah,
There's other things that you
it
need to
is not
identify.
that. It's not that at all. So,
Absolutely.
and of course, passion is on number one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to say is that जब मैं अपनी कॉलेज ट्रेनिंग के लिए गई थी, तो उन्होंने कहा कि जब तक एंटरप्रेन्योर 3-4 दफा फेल नहीं हो ना, वो एंटरप्रेन्योर नहीं बनता. जैसे हम कहते हैं ना, आई रिमेम्बर मैं गाड़ी ड्राइव करना सीख रही थी, तो माय डैड टोल्ड मी कि जब तक तुम गाड़ी मारोगी नहीं, ठोकोगी नहीं, तब तक तुम्हें गाड़ी चलाना नहीं आएगी. बिल्कुल. जब तक 2-3 दफा एंटरप्रेन्योरियल एंडेवर में फेल नहीं होंगे, आप एंटरप्रेन्योर नहीं बनेंगे.
Absolutely. And I think you learn more from failure than, getting ahead of
Failure
things.
is something in life that teaches you so much more than always.
Absolutely.
आई थिंक वो
Absolutely.
सक्सेस में आप अपने कंफर्ट जोन में चले जाते हैं, और
जी.
फेलियर आपको कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर ले आता है. So
That's
yeah,
true.
I
That's
completely
true.
agree.
No, thank you so much, Dr. Lalaro, for giving us time today and having such a great, it was so much fun, and it was such an easy conversation with you. And I know for a fact that I would want to have more talks with you in the future. So thank
I
you
would love to
so
talk
much
to you.
for your time today, and inshallah we'll be in touch.
Thank
जी.
you, Bimisal. My feelings are completely mutual. It was a lot of fun talking to you, and
Yeah,
inshallah
same.
we will talk in the future as well. Thank
Definitely.
you
So
so
thank
much.
you everybody who is listening, and we'll be back with another conversations with OTF. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.